Cool Dude 1519. Yeah, let's try a Grünfeld if we can. He allows the Grünfeld. Now that's kind of a rare response. Let's defend the bishop. Defend the knight. Those are, yeah, the two bishop moves, those are kind of sidelines of the Grünfeld, but they are acceptable, respectable ways to play. I just don't know much about them. So knight here hitting the bishop, it just takes, I guess. Pawn here. Pawn to c5 would be in keeping with the spirit of the Grünfeld, opening up this diagonal. I guess he's threatening to win a pawn here, right? Knight takes, bishop takes knight, bishop takes, and pawn takes, or knight takes. Now, I will let him win the pawn. I'm going to play a little more aggressively here. I will get the bishop pair out of that. Aha, he just takes there. Then I will take here so he doesn't get a pawn duo and castle. Take there and castle. He trades queens. Oh my. Okay, let's bring my knight out. Let's attack that bishop. Yeah, I was expecting that move. Trying to exploit my king's position, but now he has two bishops hanging. So I wonder what Cool Dude will do here. Get in one more check. Well, he still has two bishops hanging. So let's attack the knight so that my king has a square to go to. So the knight ran there. Yeah, let's put the rook here. If the knight moves, I can take his rook with check and then take back wherever the knight is taking. Yeah, I thought here I would attack his bishop and grab this pawn. Now, rook is still defended, so he goes there. Now he's oh no, he doesn't have it. I'm still attacking his bishop. I'm still attacking his bishop, so he doesn't have a, he does have a discovered check, but I will answer it by taking that bishop. Tricky, tricky play from Mr. Cool Dude. Okay, if I take his bishop now, he takes my rook, I take his rook. If he takes back, then I take his knight. I have to take it, that's right. Let's take that knight. Let's take that rook. That was a bit lucky. He still has this nasty passed pawn here. Thought he should bring his rook in first rather than push the pawn first. Let's attack his rook. Attack it again. Okay, I can take here, but what I really want to do is take this pawn. Alrighty. So let's count the pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After I get this one, he will have 2 pawns for the piece and kind of a messed up position for me. So maybe it's good for him. Just need him to move his king here so I can check and take his rook. Yeah, let's attack. Let's attack his pawn. Now, knight here, back to here. I'll also attack that pawn again. Check here. Wins the rook, so he moves the king. Then here, attacks the pawn, and he can't get over in time to save it. I think. And then if my opponent left the game, it's a rage quit. I will claim victory. Oh, he came back. Okay, so I can take with the rook or the knight. If I take with the rook and he takes the knight, I take his rook. No, it's defended, so I have to take with the knight. And this pawn is going next. Okay, so let's do the check first. Or just move the bishop. Put the bishop here in a blockading position. And let's support the knight here. Interesting check. So where is he going with that, though? I see. He's guarding this square. I was going to put my rook here to check his king. Okay, if I lift my rook up instead and then bring it over. lift my rook. He's got this square to attack it and this square to attack it, but the bishop covers them. So I guess it's okay. Got to activate that rook. Maybe round up some more pawns. That knight there is pretty handy. Okay, so I can take here. Okay, he's attacking my rook, and he's got a check here, and he's defending this pawn. Let's drop the rook back so I can get the rook behind the passed pawn. So let's just take that. Okay, he resigned. Okay, that was kind of an interesting game. Let's go to the analysis board just briefly. I want to see if there was anything going on here. So I'm just trying to play a Grünfeld. And he plays this line. Yeah, so it's a line I'm not familiar with in the Grünfeld. This is a pawn sacrifice, so I was expecting him to just take here. Maybe something like this. Take the knight first and then take the pawn. Now it's my turn. And I should probably save the bishop. He might take another pawn here. And then I castle. But these pawns, I'll round up one of them, and this is hanging here. So maybe I have some compensation, but probably not. Not entirely correct. But if I just play here, it's a very stodgy position. That's like a Schlechter Slav. Solid, but nothing great. Anyway, I really was surprised by the queen trade. Anyway, yeah, the reason I took the pawn here was because I didn't want him taking and getting this pawn duo here. I don't mind going down a pawn in the Grünfeld, because you have play on the long diagonal. That's what you get in compensation. But does he stay a pawn up? He is a pawn up here. And he's going to grab another pawn here. I could have played here, and maybe should have. But then there's this annoying pin on the knight. I could also have considered bringing the bishop out here. I did think about this. But he doubles my pawns when he takes. Probably better than what I played. Either one of those moves is probably better. Anyway, I developed and let him have that pawn. And so now he's 2 pawns up. But then he blunders here. Yeah, I was expecting that. Before I moved my king, I was saying, how is he going to kill me? The answer is this diagonal. But then I saw I had the pawn move, and now he's got 2 pieces hanging. And but he has 2 pawns for the 2 pieces, and he's getting a 3rd pawn here. Can't really stop that. And then this was a bit of luck that I put my knight here to take his bishop. Whenever there was a discovered attack, I would take the bishop, and but he has this discovered attack that takes a piece and attacks my rook. So he takes my piece, I take his piece. Takes my rook, I take his rook, and fortunately there's nothing more here. The only thing that's bad about this position for me is my knight is out of play. And then there, instead of pushing the pawn, right, he should have brought his rook in, I thought, hitting my bishop. But this is bad for me because even if I win another piece, I don't know if I can stop this. I don't know if I can stop this pawn from queening. For example, And I'll have two pieces for a queen, but on an open board like this, it doesn't look good for me. And what else can I do? If I move my king, he just checks here. My king is just trapped on the back rank. So that's bad. This is bad for me. I don't know what to do here after he plays the rook down. I was thinking maybe king over, but that loses the bishop. And there's still this problem. I couldn't keep bringing my king over because he has check and take rook. And if I try to free up my rook like so, then he can still check and take rook and queen. It's just too close. So yeah, so he had a win there. And then he, instead of doing that, he pushed the pawn. And that gave me a chance to get my king off the back rank so my rook can block. And then it's okay for me after this, I guess. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but the two pieces are stronger than his pawns at the moment. So he missed his chance. And hey, nice finish to the game. Okay, let's see if we can get another one here. Okay, d4. Oh, look at that, 2029 question mark. So that's someone who hasn't played too many games, but has done well. If he's going to play, I do hope he... There he goes. Queen's Gambit. So just the normal moves here. I think, actually I'm going to try a Catalan here. Someone was asking me on stream to play a Catalan, so let's see if we can get one in. I wonder if you're supposed to fianchetto the bishop first before bringing the knight out. I think it's all part of the same pattern, right? You have some influence on the light squares, so the knight is looking there. Oh, look at that. So this is the semi-trash. If I take his d pawn and he takes my pawn, I can take back. I think you take here and then fianchetto the bishop. So it'll be similar to a Catalan, but it's actually a semi-trash. He takes with the pawn. And then he did go there. This is probably another line. Another line in the semi. But it's not good, is it? Your opponent left the game. I can claim victory in 6 seconds. Okay. Gives me a pawn and leaves the game. I will claim victory. Let's get another rapid game here. Let's see if we can get a real game. Nicolay, 2009, 1949. Rating of 2013. So another strong player here, or highly rated. Playing the Queen's Gambit accepted. I'll just do the normal stuff here. I'm not so familiar with that move. Anyway, let's get the pawn back. If he pushes the e-pawn, I can take. Knight takes and then bring my bishop back. Yeah, I think this was intended to support the e-pawn push, which this knight move is designed to prevent him from playing e5. And then this pin reintroduces that idea in combination with this knight here. But I think I have a good enough response to it, so let's... so he settled for e6, so that's good. That is good. Now, I could unpin. I could kick the bishop and ask, does that bishop want to trade itself for my knight? Actually, maybe there's a problem. Say he takes, I take, then he pushes the pawn and I take, and then he takes back with the knight, and then the knight is actually forking my queen here. My queen will be there, and my bishop there. So, well, the queen can drop back and defend the bishop, but then he wins that nice bishop. It's a nice piece. But he didn't go for that. He just moved his bishop. He's looking at these squares, which is not a problem because he doesn't have a knight. He doesn't have a knight here. His knight is here. So the knight here could do something like that in coordination with the bishop. So let's just develop. Yeah, he likes his pins. Pins the other knight. Let's kick the bishop. I like kicking the bishops. He likes to pin, I like to kick. Now, I can win material here, right? Pawn up, pawn up. No, he takes the pawn. So I can threaten to win material by putting a rook here. Yeah, it's a good developing move anyway. Let's go ahead and do it. And he ignored it. Yeah, when you have these rapid games, you have time to check for these tactical tricks. He's playing pretty quickly. He's used only half a minute of his time for 12 moves. And it's obviously not a standard book position. Wow, if I win this one, will my rating go over 2,000? Well, I shouldn't count my eggs before they hatch here, because if he's a strong player, he might continue and beat me. Sometimes just one little tactical trick, even if it wins a piece, is not enough to win the game. When you're at my level, anyway. So we'll see. I might cut this section out if he doesn't move for a long time. I'll just trim it. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, so he plays on. He hits my bishop. I think I can just drop back here. Well, now he's thinking anyway. We woke up his brain cells. A little shock to the system. Yeah, okay, so he gives up the knight. He's going to have a bishop here hitting this pawn. So he may get actually 2 pawns for the piece. But I need to, since the knight was not pinned or anything, I need to take right away. Okay, so I've got 2 defenders. He has 2 attackers, so we're okay so far. Knight here. Harassing his bishop might be interesting. And if he doesn't take it, I'll be able to bring my bishop out to this square. Well, he retreated. So now, instead of, if I bring the bishop out, he can block with a pawn. Can't do that. Maybe here. Just chase down that light squared bishop. And that's a good square for my knight anyway. And chasing the dark squared bishop away means that this pawn was no longer under so much pressure, so I was free to move that knight. He might leave the bishop there. Let me take it and then take back with the f pawn to open up the f file. Try and get some active counterplay. I would be considering that. I mean, it's structurally bad, but he needs to do something active, being down material here. Aha. That's interesting. So he pushes that way. So I will take the bishop. He won't take the knight because I will take this bishop with check if he does. And now I can put the knight somewhere. Maybe here. Looking at looking at this pawn. Oh, I could have taken there with check right away. Well, I'm winning that pawn anyway because it's pinned. It is pinned. So if he takes with the knight, I can take here with check first and then take back. If he takes my knight with the bishop, I mean. And bishop takes pawn. Bishop takes knight, bishop takes pawn, check. Either king moves or rook blocks. Probably king moves, yeah, because rook blocks I would keep taking. So king moves, and then I take back. He can trade queens and pull my rook away, but the bishop is not under attack here, so I think it just wins a pawn. That's what we're doing. Yeah, if I could get a piece over here, like a rook or a queen, that would be good. Let's go ahead and take the bishop. So yeah, maybe queen. No, I can't go there. I was going to say queen here to here, but his knight is covering that square, so that would not be a good idea. How do I get to that square? Well, if he moves his queen away, oh, he's going to move the knight, I guess. If he doesn't trade queens, he'll move the knight, and then I can put my queen here to threaten to come out here. let's do that. It's quicker to go for the mate than to just trade queens and go for some kind of endgame where I'm a piece up. That should be winning too, but when you have extra force and the king is a bit exposed, the simplest win may be, I've once again forgotten that his queen is covering the square. So I have no mate there. Maybe I can do something with my dark squared bishop. Bishop here. Here, let's erase some of those arrows. Bishop here to here. And after the queen takes the bishop, my queen comes over here to mate. Something like that. Oh, look at that. Blockading my pawn. Let's develop. Oh, I should have put my queen there. Right. If I had put my queen on this square instead of the bishop, then I would have the bishop here and the queen in a battery this way. That still doesn't work. That still doesn't work because the pawn defends that square. It's just not so easy to mate his king over there. I'll just bring the other rook out. This bishop could go here. His knight, I guess, would take it if I did that. Okay. He's kicking my queen. Where do I want the queen to go? I think I don't want to take on passant because I want to keep this pawn here, which is restricting his knight. And maybe a good anchor spot for my dark squared bishop. Maybe queen here, bishop here, and queen here. That's a plan. So he puts his queen there, looking at this pawn, looking at the bishop. Let's go with the plan here. I think it's going to be hard for him to prevent mate without giving up massive amounts of material here. Yeah, so the simple threat is bishop here. Yeah, I thought he might do that, but bishop here anyway. If the queen moves, it's mate, so he has to take my bishop. And if he takes with the rook, I'll take the queen. So he has to take with the queen, and then I get queen for rook and bishop, which is a good trade for me. And his king is still under fire. So check will drive the king back. And then rook here will threaten mate. No, it doesn't threaten mate because the king has an escape square here. Maybe entering on the second rank is good. Could think of something like rook here and then queen here, coordinating on this square. Well, you can see he's doing his best to put up a fight. That's something I've noticed about stronger players. They don't give up so easily. They will fight tenaciously. Yeah, so now I can lift my rook with check. So I'm up basically a queen for a rook at this point. It was just a piece, but now it's a, can just take that. Well, now it's even more because he basically lost a piece there. So now it's queen and bishop for a rook. He wants to get in a check. He can have it. Oh, he wants to chase my queen. Where's the right spot? Maybe here? Good time to slow down, think about the best moves. Thought he was just going for a spite check, but I guess he's going to play it out. Queen there. Okay, so if I go back, we will have a repetition. So I'll go somewhere else this time. It's only a one-time repetition. Let's go this place. Let's go to this square this time. My bishop is nicely anchored, so never have to worry about having a loose piece, and it's in a good spot. Yeah, I wanted to grab this pawn over here so I can try and sandwich his king in between my pieces. Get his king all exposed there. There's the check. I was expecting a spite check. Although maybe there's more meaning to it. I don't know. Okay. You'll see where the king is going. Wonder if I have something. Check here. Where's the king go? Then check here and take rook. Because he can't go to this side, he has to go to this side. So yeah, check and take rook. Okay, now I should be able to mate him if he wants to keep playing. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Anyway, so he's gonna put up a fight. The queen and bishop are not the ideal mating combination. But see if we can arrange something. Maybe I'll bring another piece in. But you know, sometimes you want to coordinate between the queen and the bishop. You want to put the queen on the color of a square opposite of what the bishop is on. So queen here, check. He's got these two places. And I'm just going to push a pawn. No more trying to be fancy. I'll just push a pawn. Okay, so now I have to watch out for stalemates because he has two pawns that are both blockaded, so I just have to make sure his king always has one square to go to. So this is taking that fighting spirit to an extreme. Although I have played like this myself, I will confess. I have done this. He's just going to try and put his king on a square where it is a stalemate if I queen. Or if I move incautiously, like bringing my queen here. He has places he can go to with his king still. Oh, I have a mating idea, which is kind of pretty. He went for it. Yeah, I was going to say, if he goes there, then that's mate. I was wondering, yeah, let's put it on the analysis board and see if it actually worked. Instead of pushing that pawn there, if I had put my queen here, he has no moves, so his king has to move. And his king could go to this square or to this square. And yeah, that's it. All the other squares are covered. And if the king goes here, as we saw, that's checkmate. So, and if the king goes here, this is also a checkmate. So that would have been a pretty way to finish it. But instead, I just was playing something that didn't lose, and while I thought about what to do and how to beat him. But that would have been a nice way to force the mate. Anyway, but the game ended like this. He went here, I pushed a pawn, he went there, and I checkmated him. Good games. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye now.